Welcome to Dime to Diamonds. I'm Suzanne Porsky.
And I'm Mark Farquhar. This is being brought to you by Phoenix Financial Group, your pathway to financial success.
Phoenix Financial Group provides full-service solutions for all your financial needs.
We aim to be your comprehensive financial services provider, offering everything you need in one place.
Dime to Diamonds, as you know, in 2013, June 2nd, 2013, I fled a 25-year marriage, and unbeknownst to me, within days, everything was taken from me. I did not realize I was the victim of identity theft. There was a huge investigation going on 5 years prior to that. So the IRS and the Department of Insurance came in and they seized everything. They left me 10 cents.
It's amazing they don't really care about what happens to you. You're kind of on your own, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Not that I know, but I'm just saying.
No,
I've heard
it's
your
true.
Story.
You know, you're in a woman's shelter. You've left a 4,300 square foot beautiful home, and what looked on the outside was absolutely the perfect life. Inside, people knew different, but the children and he. But yeah, so I'm starting all over. The dime is where it was. And so I think the cornerstone of all of that was that I was financially organized going into it. And so now here I sit all these years later, and the greatest definition of it was a diamond, because
Right.
that heat, as we know, the coal is what it starts out at, and the
Right.
heat makes it a diamond. So
No telling how long you might have been in that position if you weren't organized, which we talk about that a lot, being organized and financially. It really gives yourself a big advantage.
no matter what happens in life, if you're financially organized, that's huge. You know, whether
Right.
you're a Christian and you're looking at biblically when it tells you, to build your house, to make sure it's not built on sand,
Right.
or you just a person that is going by, how you run the rest of your life. The more organized you are and the
Right.
more intentional you are, the better the results are.
Right. Tell us about the Phoenix name, where it came from.
So during that sanctified experience of having nothing, and not even a car, I had to borrow a car. I couch surfed after I got out of the woman's shelter, and with 10 cents to my name. There's a television, and I was watching Harry Potter of all things. And the part where the Phoenix was in the cage, Harry was talking to the professor on the staircase, and in front of him, the Phoenix burned to ashes. And Harry said, why did the Phoenix just burn to ashes? And he said, the Phoenix has to die in order to be born again, and the tears from the Phoenix will heal others. And that resonated 10,000%. And I thought, that's the name
Fit your
of
story
my,
perfect, yeah.
that's the name of the new company. So that's where
Awesome.
Phoenix came from.
Awesome.
Let's discuss how we met up. How did we, it's back in 2018.
2018, right? Yeah. Got a call that I think you were doing an event, a speaking event, and needed another guest speaker. And so I was told to be in the parking lot at Claremore, a municipal building there,
Mm-hmm.
I believe. We talked to the employees there that work for the city.
Right. Yes, that was back in 2018, and now collectively we've got over 65 years of experience between the two
Right.
of us, which is absolutely delightful. I know my passion comes from my sanctified experiences, and just going through, starting all over again. That wasn't the only time I've had that opportunity to start over, fleeing that marriage. I was involved in a really bad car accident years prior, and that's where my first book came from, is just going through an intersection and somebody ran a red light 45 miles an hour into my driver's door and hit reset.
Right.
So I know that my passion has been to get people to get financially organized so you are prepared whenever life happens. And I'm so thankful that we joined forces
Right.
over all these years.
Right. Me
Now
too.
we're
It's-
under one roof.
Yeah, it's improved. I've really enjoyed working together. It's kind of limited in my past. I've been doing it 26 years with my father. We had a company, and we have great clients, took care of them. But this joining up allows me to service my clients better.
I think because we come at it holistically.
Right. Exactly.
And I appreciate that you allow me to come in and as the mother hen and I'm like, okay, let's get you organized because you just never know. And you've been through it all. We both have lost our fathers,
Right.
the patriarchs of our family, and just navigating those waters as their children and helping the parent that is left without. So I feel like our joint experiences and then our passions. I mean, you naturally are a coach.
Yeah.
We're talking about that today. You're a coach of 5 children.
Right.
Awesome general manager.
Yep.
Love Kim.
Kim does a great job. Yeah.
But you've done football, baseball, lacrosse, pickleball, maybe.
Playing pickleball, but not coaching.
No, but you
anyway.
come at it from a coach perspective,
Right.
and then I come at it as an event coordinator.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
And it's been really great and helpful, and it's nice to team up and help people. So.
Right.
And the holistic part is awesome because it's cradle to grave, is what we usually call it. But it's just nice to be able to have our clients come in and we can take care of everything in one location, so they're not having to go over here, this part of town, to see this person, coordinate 3 or 4 different people.
How would you say that our appointments run? Like, because a lot of times you'll bring your clients in. I know how I do it when they're referred to me, but I'd kind of like to hear from your perspective because you'll bring from your father's practice, you'll bring a client
Right.
in.
Well, it's my father and I, we worked together a long time, and Dad had it before me, and so we've had our clients quite a while. So first, it was really, really important for me to have somebody that I teamed up with that was very knowledgeable in the industry, and not just me, because I want them to know we have a team and not just one person. Something happens to me, I had some of that concern going on. So I've been really excited bringing my clients in, working together, meeting with you as well, so they get to know you. And then you also bring other things to the table that I couldn't do before, which also helps
The
my
licenses,
clients.
yeah,
Right, yeah,
definitely full service. I am a licensed fiduciary and love to be able to help people all the way through in every aspect of it. I think where we normally start out is, and like in any journey, we start out, where are you right now?
Right.
Where are you? And then collectively get that together and
Right.
find out where they are right now. Are they getting into retirement?
Right.
What do all those assets look like? But I think before we even do that, if I'm being true and honest, we start with, do you have your estate plan?
Right. Yes. Very important.
Because you know
Yes.
what? Out of the 40 years I've been doing this, probably the first 15, I spent so much time and energy on preparing them for emergency funds and college funds and retirement, only to have life happen. And they didn't have a medical directive, and they didn't have a durable power of attorney, and they
Right.
didn't have a trust in place. Or we were using their resources because one of their parents passed away and there
Right.
wasn't a trust. So then we were having to get into their adult kids' savings to pay
Right.
for probate.
But you never know. I mean, you don't have to be elderly for that to happen. I mean, we've seen where college kids are in an accident and they're not prepared, no power of attorney to help, a
Right.
parent to come in and help.
I want to share that story because
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
It is.
We had a client who their daughter went away to college. The parents had been separated or divorced for 10 years. The college age student was on the East Coast, much closer to her dad and his new family. And the mom was here in Tulsa, and she got a call, the dreaded phone call, that the daughter was involved in a very serious car accident and that she was on life support. And the father knew well enough that his daughter to get a durable power of attorney when she went away to college, and also medical directives. And so he went in there and he told the doctors, here, this is it. I have the authority, take her off life support.
Right.
I couldn't get the money to her and a ticket bought quick enough in a plane to
Yeah.
get her out there to even help in any way
Right.
or to say goodbye. And that really changed the trajectory of my business. It just isn't for adults that are aging. It is for your children that are over 18 years of old. And even before that, if you're divorced,
Right.
you've got another parent in there, and all of a sudden you're fighting in the midst of this horrific circumstance. So definitely am a proponent
Right.
of all of those things. Durable power of attorney. A lot of people go, well, I have a power of attorney. Well, there's 3 different types. What kind do you have? A springing has specific dates in like people will do that when they're going to go on a cruise.
Right. Yeah.
A regular power of attorney did lots of those when I worked in Southern California at Bank of America. A lot of the kids would go to away in the Marines, and so they did that power of attorney. A durable power of attorney is the only power of attorney that actually works when someone is incapacitated.
Right. And that's the biggest. That's kind of the biggest one where
It covers
you
it
hear all
all.
these stories, right? Yeah.
Right.
Like the hardworking, middle-aged guy that does everything for the family, and all of a sudden he's incapacitated in the hospital, and the wife can't
Do anything.
pay bills, can't,
I had that happen a
keep
couple of
life
years
going.
ago.
Yeah.
He had bought a brand new truck on Saturday, her husband. He was coming home on 169 during one of our ice storms on Monday from work, and he ended up down in the concrete ravine. And he, by the time they got him, he was almost gone. He did pass away 2 different times. And in talking to her, I said, did he just slide off? And she said, when I drove by, his truck is still down there. There is a dent in the bumper and there's a black mark. And so we contacted Story Wrecker and they went and got it. Well, they wouldn't let her have that truck. They've been married for 27 years.
Right.
Because her name wasn't on it. He bought it on Saturday. And so had she had that durable power of attorney, we could have gotten it without getting an attorney. So she had to contact an attorney for that. She couldn't file his paperwork at work because she didn't have any authority over any of that. And so people think just because they're married that they can stand in that place.
Right.
Not so much. I guess depending on the state. I'm not an attorney and we do not practice law. But in our own personal experiences, we've seen where you need to get those really important, necessary documents. So I think that's where we start appointments out is, what's your foundation? Do you have this in place? Do you have your estate planning? I had somebody that's in an apartment that said, I don't even have anything.
Right.
Well, you do. If you have a car, you're going to have that car somehow title changed.
Right.
And so it's just easier. The only way you can get things changed and sold after you pass away, if you don't have a trust, is through probate.
Mm-hmm. And that takes a long time, a lot
You
of
got to
money.
hire an attorney.
Yeah.
You have to go see a judge. The judge sets a date in the future. Then you have to put it in the newspaper.
Yeah. Also brings out other people in the equation that you didn't know were in the,
I know you've heard my stories.
So, yeah. So,
Now, we had a family member pass away, and he was 54, and he had his home, and not married, no kids. Sometimes our family's the hardest. Couldn't convince him he needed it. And, he passed away walking from the bathroom to his bedroom in the morning. And so about $12,000 later, a lot of heartache, stopped our life. We had to go hire an attorney, go through probate, had multiple times at the court. And when they said, is anybody here, people make a profession of it because it's in the for us, Tulsa world.
Right.
They say that they knew him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They got to verify it and go through the process.
Right.
Attorneys love that.
Got kicked out of the courtroom because I'm rolling my eyes going, oh my gosh. He said, you got to quit with all the animation. I was like, this is crazy. We just want to mourn the loss of our loved one.
Right.
I don't know these people, and I can't believe that he would tell these people this.
Right.
They don't owe that money.
Having that planning cuts out a lot of future problems.
Okay, so these awesome binders, this is State Organizer. Mm-hmm. This is my favorite, and I think I've told you this so many times.
Oh, yeah. I like it. It's good. It gets our clients like it,
Yes.
and it's kind of the foundation of our organizational.
So when my dad unexpectedly watching Let's Make a Deal with Mom and took his last breath, that was by far the hardest, worst experience I'd ever been through in my life. And Dad was totally financially organized. Everything was in his wood. It's an all oak filing cabinet, and we know that. Mm-hmm. And his whole life he'd say, "Okay, here we're going to put this here," and I knew it. That was the longest walk down that hallway, opening the door to his office. Thinking about it today is still so hard, and going through all those folders, I'm like, this is not fun. And then you have to fill out the death certificate and the obituary and like where he went to high school and what he graduated college and his Navy retirement and all that. I'm like,
And you're wondering if there's anything else out there too that you're missing. That you
Right.
didn't
What
even
has
know
he
about.
done? Has he
Right.
got other long-term care policies since last? And
Yeah,
so,
I've had a lady, we were helping do a death claim for her husband, and she thought she had it all, called his work, got life insurance and all that stuff, and then she got into his phone, and he had other stuff too, that he had another life insurance policy, and then some other stuff that, that she didn't know.
Right.
And so
this
this
is where,
helps a lot.
oh, it's
Yeah.
so wonderful. And then we have created our tabs, for it. So everything is here, and that's what we tell our clients.
defines
Man,
everything.
everything.
Explains it. Yeah.
Explanation of the plan and the
Right.
location and where everything's at. And like I've told people, put the life insurance policies or a statement in here. Put one bank statement so they know exactly where to go to. And so it's one
Right.
place.
And if they need to make any changes, they always go back to the notebook and they can make their changes to their Schedule A.
Right.
Or call us and
I
let
think
us
of
help
that
with it.
client that her husband was mowing the yard and
Right.
just fell over, passed away
Right.
instantly. He has transitioned, his heart attack as well.
Right.
I want to say, she didn't say this, but I think you were the first person that she called because we have that kind of relationship with our clients.
Right.
And they bring in their folder because, as you know, from your dad passing away, you get mind mush.
Right.
You are just trying to navigate a new normal.
Right.
But they bring it in and we're able to just walk it all through.
Yeah.
We know it. And that's what I love most about it. And this
Right.
is definitely our heart, is getting financially organized,
Exactly.
then making all the pieces work together.
Yeah.
Like, let's get your money working as hard for you as you did to earn it.
Right. Yeah. Just people it's hard. I mean, people change jobs, they move, and they just have all this information they forget about, or they don't know what to do with it. So it's kind of fun getting together with people too, because you get together and they realize. I mean, you
Right.
had somebody you met with that she had a 401k that had 100,000 in it. She didn't even know.
That's my bestie. She'll hear this and
Yeah.
see this. My bestie, Lisa. Yes. I was
Yeah.
just
She's hadn't checked on it in a while. So
right. Casual conversation.
Right.
And an extra $42,000. And
Yeah.
then, I don't even know if I told you this part. She was looking through some old boxes after she moved, and she wanted to know what the stock, these pretty pieces of paper were. Dow Corning
Yeah.
from the 80s.
Right.
And you know how many times it split? Her one piece of
Amazing.
stock. So that's the kind of thing. And so just getting even her financially organized. But I think it's so important, because then when someone says, hey, like the call we just got as we're sitting here, he's getting ready to retire. He wants to retire in August. What needs to happen? Awesome. We need to talk to you about Medicare supplement. We need
Right.
to help you file Social Security. Let's talk about these never before tax 401k retirement plans.
Right.
How are we going to offset the taxes on that? Do you need to open an LLC?
Yep.
You know,
I mean, she's
after the
not-
honeydew list is done, he's
Yeah.
going to probably want to do a little hobby,
Right,
and
yeah.
get paid and have.
And what's cool is we've met with this couple a few times, and they're organized, and it's just going to make it that much easier when they come in. He's ready to retire. He's just going to sit down, and we're going to kind of discuss the options, and so that's what's cool. I mean, it's really nice to, and I know it is for them as well, where it just makes it easier not to have to get on Facebook and ask people, hey, who does trust, who does health insurance, who does Medicare. You can come here, and we're going to take care of you with the whole
All of it.
checklist. Yeah.
And then sometimes people need different alternatives to income. They want to replace that paycheck, whether that's $3,000 a month, $13,000 a month.
Right.
We've had it $25,000 a month. I need to replace this income that I'm working every day for. What do I do? Whether that is through index universal life policies, where they're pulling that income off of it, they're borrowing their own money, so it's not
Right.
coming across on that front page of their tax return. Or, it's just all the nuances. I love all the programs
Everyone's
that we
different,
have.
So everyone's not the same. So that's why you have to sit down and discuss it. So
Right.
look at the whole picture.
And I think the other thing, if I can speak to the women out there, whether you're involved or not with your spouse in all of the planning that's going on financially, you need to be involved at some degree. You need to have the organization, or at least know where the folder's at. We're gaining a lot of those clients these days where the husband, because statistically, men transition when they're 68.
Right.
That's what the
But
stats
they
are
don't
telling us.
We don't think we're going to die, so we kind of like, you know how it is. So
And women at
we don't talk
72,
about it. Right.
So we are getting them at that age, and they don't know.
Right.
They don't know, like property taxes. Our house is paid off. What are we doing on property taxes? Homeowners insurance, all those different little nuances.
My wife, I was doing the pool, and my wife asked me, "What are you doing?" You know, she noticed I was cleaning the pool and doing the filter and all that. And she goes, "You need to show me that." And I was sitting there going, "Yeah, I do." I mean, that's just stuff like that. It's like,
Right.
So the financial stuff is very important.
Well, that
to have
transitions me
accessible too.
into on our website, we have some new blogs. And one of them was, you've got kids, you got 2 of them getting married this year.
Right.
When and how do you start talking about finances? Do you talk about it before? I mean, their generation coming up is different than ours.
Right.
But let's talk about that.
I think it's very important to talk about it before. Yeah, I even suggest you get maybe some pre-marriage counseling, to kind of see where you are on the as far as different beliefs or different ways you want to do stuff. Because one side, the husband may have a way he was taught through his family, and then the
Tell me
wife
about
through
yours.
the other.
I'd never heard that before today when you're saying, I'm the man. I'm going to take care of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I
Well, you
I
didn't
just
say
think
that, but
no, I just think that as the man, you should take care of. You should. One of my sons getting married. They're getting an apartment. Be the man, take care of it.
Are you saying
Take
man
care of
up?
the deposit. Yeah, I mean, take care of the deposit yourself, and then you take care of that, and then have the discussion with your spouse. What are you going to pay for, or what am I going to pay for, and what's your money used for? I'm a little old-fashioned. I think the man should take care of the family and his wife, and if she needs to go do this or that, then she takes it out of the main account, and then
Well, happy wife is happy life.
Yeah,
Are you talking about us getting our hair done and our nails done?
Yeah, yeah,
There you go.
yeah. I am.
I do think it's important to talk about money before marriage. I know, like with my daughter and her husband, they've had those discussions. And right now it's, the Dave Ramseys and the Susie Ormans may lean towards everything needs to be collectively together. You have to do what's right for your family
Right.
and what you guys are comfortable with.
Right.
And if you want separate accounts and then one joint account,
Yeah.
I know for me as a second marriage, it's totally different.
Right.
And we had those discussions very early on.
I hear some where each of them put into their bill account, and they pay the bills, and then they have each of their own account. It's just depend. The main thing is communication,
Right.
and be on the same page of whatever you want to do,
And what their money values are.
Right.
So this blog that's on phx.financial, which is our website, it goes into it, just how to have those conversations, kind of some touching points. What are your spending habits?
Right.
It might be touchy, but wouldn't you want to talk about it before you get married?
Well, yeah, like the difference between Kim and I is she grew up in a family, they ate at home, they never hardly went out to eat. And then, so I'd come up to their house and go, hey, let's go to Quick Trip and get a Coke.
Well, that's a hot date.
What? No, you know what I'm saying. I mean, just spending habits, they're different. So,
And money fears.
Coffee, coffee's one. Like
Right.
somebody may not go to Starbucks or Dutch Brothers. And then some people, I like going a few times a week.
Yeah, I got my stories about Dutch Brothers. I love it. Tastes good.
Good.
And the money fears and how much debt. Man, I hear people get so worked up over debt. There's such a stigmatism with that. And that's where I love to talk to people about that and love to talk to women about that, especially. It's what you're putting in, it's the value you're giving it.
Right.
And
But as young kids, before you get married,
Right.
you got to get yourself in a position where you're able to buy a house, you're able to go rent an apartment. I mean, a lot of them don't think about that going, well, I have this credit card I just let go, or I have some debt. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like when you come into marriage, it's like that could be a big deal if your credit or your financial situation isn't to where you can qualify for a place to live. So,
yeah, the story
anyway.
reminds me of a parent that came to me, and they were saying that their daughter was just getting engaged, and the boy asked for permission. He said, man, I just had the biggest grin on my face because he gets all her $122,000 school loans. And I'm like, did you tell him that when you said yes? He goes, not really. I'm like, I wonder if she told him who she's getting married to that they've got that. And they'll work through it
Or
together.
I've seen it where dads are sitting there cringing because they're marrying a guy and they're like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to my daughter's $80,000 savings account? I mean, it's so many different
That brings
directions.
me to so much, though, because you can take care of so much in estate planning. Right. I had this lady on the phone yesterday, and she's like, God love it, I got 5 kids. And I had to hear stories about all 5 of them and who they're married to and how the grandkids are. And she knows exactly who she wants to have what when, not just the trinkets, not the jewelry and the china, but I want this child to have this much money at this age, and this is what I want it for. Now, she can't control what they spend it on, but she can definitely tell us her wishes in her estate plan, and that executor of that trust can make sure it happens. And that is what's so important. And like you just said, that dad going, oh, no.
Yeah.
Who's she marrying, and is he going to, have a say on that money that she's inheriting?
Right.
Which,
she spent a lot of time saving it and worked hard. So, I mean, I could understand, either way, whether it's a daughter saving it up or a son. So
right, exactly.
Tough deal.
I just like having the conversations, and then so many people go, well, when do I call a financial professional? I don't know. At what point do you go to a physician? Do you go and have
get established early?
Right.
Why
not go get a physical?
And we run into a lot of even young people in their 30s that have, I got 2 401ks. I haven't looked at them. I don't know where they're at, or and
I'm just like,
kind of like, oh, I know, yeah. I mean, you need to get those under
get the
your
free
control.
money.
Yeah,
are they matching it?
Yeah.
I had somebody ask me that. They said they're only matching 6%, and I'm like, 6% of your paycheck they're going to double, so you get a 100% return.
Yep.
So, you needed yesterday to start, but we'll start today. How exciting. And if you can only put 1% or 2% of a paycheck, then start there, but start somewhere.
And then the discipline of it, come in when you're young, get that savings in your budget now. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do it when you're 45 and you go, how much do I got to save so I can retire at 65? Well, instead of a couple hundred a month or 300, you're going to need to, you need about 1,500 a month to get caught up.
I have a family member that his father said, I'll recommend you to the company I work for a job, but you are going to take X amount of your paycheck and you're going to put it in the retirement where they match it.
Right.
And he said that was such a hard thing to do, but he did it because he wanted to work for this company. It's ONG. I was so proud of him. He had $80,000 when he left to go on to another job. So that was a 401k that he was going to kind of just leave and let it grow. I'm like, no, let's keep it working for you in the trajectory of what you want to do.
Right.
And he was in his 30s. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's real important. I think every aspect.
I think kids are kind of getting their little. I think with all the information out there, that may be it, but they seem to be more getting prepared earlier than they, a decade ago. So I think it's see a little trend going on maybe.
Right. Okay. So the other blog that I really like, financial wedding tips for a memorable I do. How many do you have again this year?
2, and a granddaughter coming. So yeah.
There you go. I mean, no life changes at all.
No,
not at all. I like the call that you got when they were all coming home from college a couple weeks ago.
It's been fun though.
Yeah.
It's been all right.
Those are the times you got to enjoy them.
Yep.
So on the blog, on the website, phx.financial, the average U.S. wedding costs
$35,000.
Mm-hmm. I know you were laughing about it.
I had a client, a mom, and she was telling me that her daughter got married. We were talking about it, and she goes, "Yeah." She asked me to pay for the flowers, and I go, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "It was $10,000," and I'm like, "Oh my goodness." And my question was, did you take them all home with you afterwards? She goes, "No, I left, I left, they were just swept them up and put them in the truck." So, and then now it's just different. You got event centers or
Well, yeah, you were just planning that. Remember you went to an event center and it was how much compared to?
If you do the weekend, it's a lot.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah. And if you see a lot of weekday weddings because it saves them thousands of dollars by having it. But it's just changed a lot. In 94, when Kim and I got married, I think it's $300 for the church. Everybody got married in a church. And then, you know, you paid the preacher. I think we paid the wedding coordinator a few $100s.
And that's what I like about this blog, because you were asking me, well, would you hire a wedding coordinator?
Yeah, does that get you in more trouble, or do you think that saves you money? I don't know.
Right. But if you think about it and you read this blog, it tells you it actually it gives you parameters.
Yeah.
You're saying I want to spend X amount of dollars, and then they'll make sure to keep you in that budget.
That's good.
Instead of, so it says here, it sounds counterintuitive, but hiring a wedding planner will help you save money by ensuring expenses stay within the budget.
Well, it makes sense because mom and daughter and son and all them are they're worried about other stuff rather. And the last thing they want to do is sit there and go, oh, where are we at on money? That wedding planner could probably come in and here's what you can do. Here's your options.
Well, and then the destination wedding. We were talking about that because you have one of those.
I have one of those, yeah. Wasn't planned that way, but Kate decided they want to get married, and I got Spencer and Maria getting married later in November. They're getting married in downtown Broken Arrow. Oh. It'll be fun. And then Kate decided we go to Destin every year, so they decided, hey, Mom and Dad, we're just going to get married on the beach. Mm-hmm. We got two totally different, types of...
So did you like the blogs? Did you get some information out of it, like some tips and tricks?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
And like really I was helpful. Doing when we were talking, because I like NerdWallet. Mm-hmm. I like to go on there and because I'm a nerd. You know, $10,000 back when you and Kim got married 30 years ago.
Right.
If you would have taken $10,000 and you put it in an account, average about 8%, which is pretty darn conservative. Mm-hmm. Would I tell you would have?
86,000.
109, almost 110,000. Wow. And they average 35,000 right now. If they were to just take that money and put it, which is hard, because I get it, it's memories. And if that's how somebody wants to spend their money, it's there to be spent. I'm not saying don't spend it, but 35,000, 30 years, $382,000. So that's why
it's amazing.
People, weren't you saying there was somebody you knew that they offered the daughter, here's a lump sum? Spend what you want.
Yeah, they
save
did.
What you want.
She wanted to get a house, so they still did a wedding, but they did it simple,
more
and then
conservative,
took more of it for a down payment on a house. So everybody's different. I had one of our clients. He's pretty simple guy, and married a girl, and I guess her family's really wealthy, and I can't remember what it was. It's tens of thousands is what they're putting into it, but. He's like, no, her family wants to do that, and so it just depends on what the family wants. And it's a wedding special, so you can't,
Right.
It's
well,
special.
And that's kind of where people come in and talk to us. There's never been a cookie cutter way that we do anything. There has never been two clients that are exactly the same.
No.
I love it that they can. I have some of my favorite clients. I mean, they're all my favorite clients. But, they'll be at a car show, and they'll see a Corvette that they love, that they would think that they can't live without. And they'll send me a text and say, hey, what do you think about this purchase? And I'm on the outside as their financial advisor. And it's like, okay, so where are you going to garage it? The cost of the insurance.
Right.
Is it going to appreciate in sitting in a car as much as it is in your portfolio that we have it? Is it something you really want? Because if it's what you want and it's going to bring you joy, then let's talk about it. But we're not going to buy anything at the car show on Saturday.
Yeah.
We're going to give this some sleep.
It's always good to analyze things. To see, like that. Have somebody ask you questions and go, oh, yeah,
Yeah, and I just had a client, and they leave tomorrow for Hawaii, that she called, and she got a surprise $25,000 check in the mail from an aunt. She knew the aunt, but she didn't know that she was being left anything. And she said, what should I do? Where should I invest it? I'm coming in tomorrow. Well, I know them, and I know their portfolio, and I know that they're very, they're doing fantastic.
Right.
And I said, what do you want to do? What's your heart's desire? And she said, anything? I said, anything. She said, I want to take my kids and my grandkids, my kids and their spouses and my grandkids, and I want to go on a vacation, and I want to pay for everything.
Right.
I said, that's what we're going to plan. That's it.
That's awesome.
And she says, you don't think, and I said, you're never going to run out of money. From what I can see, from where we're at right now, we have all the insurances in place and all your portfolio, and you've been on this trajectory for years, and we're ready for anything and everything. I can safely say that you can take some, all, part, and you can go live this life of your dreams.
Yeah.
And so I am so excited for them.
That's awesome.
We're going to have Phoenix has got a group of people with leis and waiting for them when they go to baggage claim tomorrow, because I'm just
Cool.
so proud of them for
Yeah.
living this life.
Right.
And she could have taken the path of, I'll just stick it in the savings and add it to everything else we have. And
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, you want our clients to live a little and not, I mean, some
It's a
just are worried
balance.
about leaving it all and to the family, and that's not, I understand leaving a legacy and all that, but you want to be able to, like this, I mean, that's a lot, taking
Right.
your family and spending time with them.
how about the clients
Spend
that
a little
came
money.
in that have like 17 rental properties?
Yeah.
And all their estate planning, who they want to leave them all to. Mm-hmm. And before we even like did any typing, we're like, could you ask them if they want these?
Yeah.
Do they
did,
want this
yeah.
job? Do they want this inheritance, or would
Yeah.
they rather have a Charles Schwab account that
Right.
was put into the trust, and then they get a portion and they can
No,
like
they've-
make sure you check with your beneficiaries
Right.
if they want to step up and take, especially if you're in your 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
But again, that's our conversations, and a lot of them.
They pick some good properties in the area, and they do really well, and they built up quite a bit.
I know, and I was happy to hear there
really
a lot
nice,
of their beneficiaries
rental,
were like, yes, actually,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah.
And they already had the properties picked out, so it really helped.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved being a part of that conversation and just helping. So I guess the point is we're not just transactional; we are
Yeah.
relational.
Right.
And
We want
every
to keep seeing you after we're done with your
Yes.
planning and putting it in place. So,
right.
and that's
I'm-
what makes our job fun too.
Right.
I mean, it's that part.
And the new grandkids come aboard, and then we're able to say, hey, let's start them off with some life insurance, little savings account.
right.
Let's start something so at least it's growing and
Yeah.
going for them. I say from the time they're born, is nothing wrong with putting $30, $25, whatever
Sure.
a month away, or getting them
Yeah.
some life insurance and getting that in place. Because I've had enough people over the 40 years where if something happens and one of those kids is diagnosed with
Yeah.
a disease
Uninsurable, yeah.
and uninsurable, at least they have that policy
Right.
that you bought them when they were an infant.
Right.
And they can convert it and they can carry it on for the rest of their life. So I think collectively, all of our experiences and stories
Yeah.
for our 66 years together, like
Right. Yeah. Combined together.
combined
yeah.
together, it makes us be able to help our clients. And I'm glad we get to pick and choose
Right.
who we are able to work with. We're not a big box. We aren't a large corporation where we're having to
Right.
press the agenda of a corporate America, the corporation. We're able
Well,
to.
I think we're not numbers people. Like we need to get X
Oh.
amount of numbers ever. It's
Right.
more of a quality relationships, and I think that makes a difference. So,
Right. And I'm glad we brought the Medicare piece in a few years ago, because that is crazy to me, that Medicare maze and the actors and actresses, mostly actors. I'm shocked. I'm like,
know.
you know darn well you don't have a reverse mortgage, so why?
yeah.
The Fawns, I think it is. Like, come on, buddy. Like, do you know what that does to a
Free
family?
stuff, get a free gift. I mean,
Free
it's all
tote
kind of
bag.
Stuff. Yeah.
Or and then back to Medicare, because I kind of went off on that.
Right.
But the Medicare, man, I just think of our families that we weren't able to help 10 years ago because we
Right.
didn't have those licenses, and now we
Right.
do. We've taken the courses and we've done all the studying and
Mm-hmm.
all the experiences of it to say, okay, this is what you want,
Right.
and this is how it works. People come in and they're just clocked,
Right.
which is understandable.
Right.
I don't know the
I
first
know it
thing
is.
about a lot of
It's-
their jobs and their job descriptions, but this
Yeah.
is definitely our bus seat in life.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm kind of, this is off the corner of my eyes of like everything and how we help everything
Right.
and
It's
everybody.
all of our services right there.
The long-term care strategies that we provide,
Right.
and that's another thing with the financial organization of estate planning. They need
It could
Medicare
cost
trusts.
you a lot of money if you don't plan for that long-term care. 'Cause they're gonna make
Right.
you spend all your money before you get any help. So
And the Medicare trust now, with current administration, they have changed so many rules. There's a 60-month, 5-year look-back period. And so that means that
You can't go transfer property.
you
or
cannot ditch your
anything.
assets
Yeah.
when you have a diagnosis or you've had a stroke
Right.
or something like that. They're going to look back. So that's where we try to be
Right.
proactive and say, get everything in a trust. Let's get that separate entity set up.
Right.
You stay in control of all of it. You can change it as much as you want, but it is not part of that Medicare look. If in fact you have long-term care needs and you need to be in a facility, and I don't know many people that want to
Right.
be in a facility, so I'm glad we're able to offer that.
Yes.
And Social Security planning, medical directives, all that good stuff. So.
Good stuff.
Okay, so next episode, I want to talk about your favorite taxes in
Right.
retirement. It's not that you don't like to talk about them, but it's definitely not a fun topic.
No, it's not. Yeah. And then
I
you have a lot
love
of
the
changes
programs.
coming up too. Yeah.
Oh, we have the big changes.
Yeah.
The Tax Cut and Jobs Act that is going to get reversed because it has seasoned. It's
Right.
sunsetting.
Administration, the current's not going to.
The current
renew it,
administration is
so-
not renewing it, and so everybody's taxes are going to default back to where they were. Big changes. I would love to touch on that, not to be a depressing
Bet.
subject. We do have some workshops coming up in
Right.
August 22nd and August 24th.
August 22nd, 6:30,
Yes.
and then August 24th at 10:30.
Yes.
And that's we're doing it at the conference center at the Broken Arrow Youth Sports Center at 1015 South Main Street in Broken Arrow,
Okay.
right down the street from the office.
And it's going to be taxes.
In
Not
retirement.
just taxes in retirement, but taxes and retirement.
And retirement.
Because we have such great tools. This is one of my other favorite things to do. Because you're taking never before tax money and you're putting it into use, how can we reduce that tax exposure and that tax liability? And then, and this is another thing I'm going to kind of divert, when people say, well, I don't need a trust, I just put people as beneficiaries on everything. When that happens, like our client the other day, we are still strategically moving assets every year because of the programs we have. We know
Right.
the threshold of when it's going to kick them into another tax bracket, that we come skidding in right at that level. If they all of a sudden got an inheritance, it's going to jump them up and they're going to have
Yeah.
to pay more taxes.
Right.
And so we like to really educate people and let them know that this is what's needed. So
Right.
we're going to have that. I have the honor and privilege of speaking at a successful women's luncheon
Right.
in
Exciting.
June. So that's on the website as well.
27th?
The 27th
27th, yeah.
at Broken Arrow. Yeah, it's,
Is it the chamber
yes,
building?
I think it's the ballroom. And so it's
The
women's
old high
only.
school. old
Did
high
you say
school
you were going to get
building.
a wig?
Yeah, I need to get a wig and.
Please
see if
don't
I'll-
come drag and then expect me to stand up there and not be totally distracted.
I wanted to come watch it, but it's a
I know.
women's event. So anyway,
I'm excited because
That'll
that's
be fun.
That's definitely my heart to share and get them empowered and educated, and really equip the men to feel very confident
Right.
that if and when there is a transition with him, that she's in good hands. He's not going to want another, to the best of my knowledge, another male to come in with maybe that male advisor's agenda. He
Right.
wants his wife's heart heard.
Yeah.
And what she wants to do. And I think collectively we come at finances different than men.
yeah,
We are thinking more generationally for the most part. We are thinking more
exactly. I agree.
philanthropic. And I think you men are thinking about your wife. You're thinking more one dimensional. I want to make sure she's taken care of if
Right.
anything happens to me. So
Yeah,
I think
I
we'll
see
touch
that.
on that next podcast.
Okay,
And
sounds like fun.
yeah, so this has been a great time.
Yeah, had a good time.
Yes. Thank you guys all for being with us. Again, this is Suzanne Porsky with Phoenix Financial Group.
phx.financial is our website.
Yes. We look forward to seeing you next time. In closing, you have been tuned in to Dime to Diamonds, sponsored by Phoenix Financial Group, where we provide full service solutions for all of your financial needs. We do this through organization and offering you everything in one place.